Good morning. My name is Reinhard van Hoeven. Welcome to everybody watching. So, with me here today is Philip Malan. I want to say good friend, but maybe just a great cycling colleague. I always say men don't have friends; they just have drinking buddies or cycling buddies. So, why is Philip here today? We know each other fairly well. We're both from Pretoria. He's got good experience in the Epic. We introducing you guys to our Epic Bundle. We're in the shop, so if you hear some noises in the background, it's all shop noises and what's going on here. But Philwe behind the scenes, maybe Philwe just pop your head in here, show us. She's just going to help passing on some items. How's it? Hi. This is Philwe. She'll be standing behind the camera. So yeah, back to Philip. Short introduction. Philip was and still is a commercial airline pilot, which is an interesting profession because they're very meticulous, they're very responsible. No cowboys, you don't get cowboys in the airline industry. And the way he thinks is very meticulous, and that makes him a prime candidate. And then I think he's got a bit of a face for TV, unlike myself. So yeah, this is probably the new TV. So the idea is an Epic Bundle. What do you need? What is nice to have? What's going to bring you in trouble, what's going to save you out of trouble. Yeah, so Philip, I don't want to talk too much.
Thank you for having me on your new show, Renan.
By the way, as you can see, he's a legit mountain biker. Paid the price.
Yeah. It's maybe I wasn't so meticulous at that time.
Pushing the boundaries, unfortunately, has consequences.
Yeah, so Reinhard asked me to speak a little bit about clothing, especially on the Epic, and what my experience is in the few Epics I've done. And you know, each Epic is usually different from the previous Epic, and it's all just weather dependent always. So you know, our first Epic was super hot, and then you have to deal with that, and then also have the right clothing for that specific, for those conditions. And then the second Epic was also very hot, but there was 2 rainy days in between. And the last Epic, actually the last day also rained, and it was chilly. So you want to be ready for these circumstances. Luckily, all my Epics, I've never had a very cold day, which is fortunate for me, because I think each person experience heat or temperatures in a different way. So for example, myself, I experience temperatures, if it's cold, where for you it might still be warm, I might actually get very cold. So I can experience a specific temperature like to be much colder than most people out there. And I want to be ready for those circumstances. And I think VanH clothing brings the right bundle for something like that.
Yeah. I actually want to add on to what Philip there said, just thinking of something. I've got a friend who's absolutely terrible at cold weather.
Yeah.
We've done quite the extreme thing. We haven't ridden the Epic together, but other mountain biking events. And I know one thing, if it turns cold, I'm going to be waiting for you on. He just doesn't like cold. He just doesn't like cold. And my experience as well on an Epic, I did an Epic there where it was, we went so cold some people fell out because of hypothermia. And what you want basically is options. If it's hot, you want to have an option to get yourself cooler. If it's cold, you want to have an option to get yourself hotter or drier or whatever. Yeah.
So I mean, the first rule is to always check the weather before you do something like the Epic for that specific day. What's the forecast? What is to be expected? And I'm sure most of everybody who does the Epic will do something like that, and that prepares you for that day. You can't 2 weeks before the Epic see, okay, that's what the weather's going to be, and so choose your attire or your clothing for the Epic. You literally have to do it the day before or the night before, even the morning before the race starts. So therefore, VanH has put a few bundles together to to assist you as a rider for under unpredictable. Unpredictable. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think, which one do you like to start with?
Like I said, we basically put together 3 kinds of bundles, and they're not just bundles on options, but on a level of luxury, if we can call it that, or so on. So we're going to start with obviously what you can't be without. The absolute necessity or essentials, like we're going to call it, is a shirt. You can't ride the Epic without a shirt. You are allowed to ride with the present shirt that you own, and I think on the amateur side they're allowed to ride with shirts that don't match up. But from the pro side, the teams must match up with kit, and I think it's also become sort of an unwritten thing at the Epic. It being such a great prestigious event that people do go as a team, looking like a team, having kit that looks the same.
But isn't there a new rule now in place where the 2 members may have different kit?
I think there is.
But you're right. I mean, that's not on the pro level. We're talking, let's say, amateur side mostly in a way, and it's nice to look like one another. It's nice to have the same kit. It helps a lot when you're in racing in the field. There's a lot of other riders, so you can quickly identify your friend or your teammate, and in this way you won't lose your teammate, and that happens. I mean, losing your
That's
teammate
actually
is a big
very
thing.
very valid point.
Yeah. So you would like to look the same, so you know what to look for.
Yeah. If you lose your partner, the 2-minute rule can bite quite hard. Yeah.
Might be behind you or in front of you. You don't know, and then that. So you like to have the same color, especially on the jersey side.
Okay.
So the first one is the premium jersey.
So I'm just gonna pop it in here. This is just a design that we refer to as a private label design. Obviously, when you do Epic, you can do a custom label, add some sponsors. Yeah.
So this premium jersey is probably one of my best or nicest jerseys out there. It fits seamlessly. It just sits so comfortably on your body. It handles warm temperature very well.
Maybe on the same side of the premium, Philip mentioned earlier before we had the video on that he actually likes a long sleeve.
I love the long sleeve, especially in warm temperatures. It just protects you from the sun, and that's actually one of the things that you really want to be protected from, especially out there in hot days.
I think something that we underestimate sometimes when it comes to a race like the Epic, it being more than one day, is the fact that sunburn today is something that you need to manage tomorrow. If it's a one-day race, you can always go home and lick your wounds, but on the Epic you need to be in the sun again, and
must be ready tomorrow again.
Yeah, and sunburn is nothing but inflammation. So if that's something that you're prone to experience in an Epic, obviously remember sunscreen in your face and your neck, on your ears, very important, but on your body as well. Legs are usually not too bad, my experience, but arms can actually give you quite a bit of inflammation.
What is the UV protection on these?
So the basic rule with it, being the technical materials, is all technical materials do UV. And you've got to look at the amount of small little holes. And without becoming too technical, what I usually tell people is take the garment, put it up into the light. If you can see a lot of light through it, it's going to have less protection. If you can see less light through it, it's going to have more protection. That's just a sort of a basic rule of thumb. So when we produce the clothing, we try to put the most UV on the back, because obviously the back is flat, gets exposed to the light or to the sun in extreme cases, and then from there, depending on personal taste, you can go arms that have really good protection, and you can go arms that's got less protection. So you can decide on your own.
Okay.
Less protection,
very
also
customizable then.
Yeah. Less protection usually means also better moisture wicking and cooling down, but then also less UV. So that's the options there. This is just an example of a zipless jersey, which is also an option, especially on the shorter days. The zipless, obviously the disadvantage is you can't open it up. So if you really want to cool down, the zip is also for that. And then this is an example, I don't know if it's possible to put it, yeah, but this is an extremely thin material that's very see-through. You can almost see on a double layer on what basis it's see-through. And you'll notice that we only add that on the shoulders and the chest, which is not exposed, and on the back it's got a material that gives you a bit more protection. So that's the basic 3 design options.
Well thought out jerseys.
Yeah. Okay, then the next item on our list is a base layer. Thanks if you wish. This is a basic white base layer. This is the one you wear under the jersey. So what does base layers do? A base layer basically does what a wetsuit does when you're swimming. It creates a layer in between the vest or the shirt and the outside, which will give you a slight bit of warmth when it's a bit of a colder day. I'd never wear a base layer and a zipless. If I do a base layer, I always do a zipped. Then you can open it up if it really gets warm.
So it's a good option for a day where it might be a bit cooler, just to have something below, just to protect you from the cold. But it can also be a good option for when it's a very warm day, to protect you from the sun.
It also helps with moisture wicking because it picks the garment off your chest or off your body, which allows the natural perspiration to happen faster. And it's the perspiration that actually cools you down, so that effect of it does make a difference. Okay, then we're going to move over to a little bit more of an ultimate package, which is a bit more of a luxury package. If you've got a bigger budget, a bigger sponsor, these are things that I would take to the Epic. I want to start off with a gilet. So this is our all-weather gilet. It's made up of actually a very, very technical material. The reason I've put a black one here is that we actually purchase this in black. When we buy the material out of Italy, it comes in black. And this is the material that causes every peloton that you see in the UCI races like the Tour de France or the Giro. If the weather goes bad, the whole peloton goes black. This is what they wear. So what's the advantages of this? I don't know if you can hear it. I'll bring it a little bit closer. You can even hear the fact that it sounds a bit plasticky, which means it's weatherproof, water as well as wind. But the advantage of this, and I want to show you quickly, sorry it's a bit uncomfortable, but it actually stretches. So the stretch makes the garment very, very comfortable.
What is super nice about this gilet is that you can, on mornings where it's cool, you can start with it. And, let's say half an hour or hour in when you warm it up, you can take it off and just put it in a small bag.
I just want to show you. So when you buy this specific gilet, it comes in a bit of a pouch. It comes in a pouch. So this pouch has got a Velcro strap and it can be attached to the bike if you want to start with it on the bike.
So you've got that option. Also, what's nice about this gilet is it's so thin and so small that you can just fold it up and put it in the back of your jersey.
This will be the size, more or less, in the back of your pocket. So
that's very comfortable. Very nice option.
You guys used this, Philip, at the jealous. I'm very jealous of the trip they did. They went to Great Divide. If you guys haven't done that, go look it up. It's quite the adventure. I think how many days did you go?
22 days.
22 days. From the north to the south.
So we rode from Canada, VanH to Mexico, through America. You stay mainly on the Rockies, so you're either at the low altitude or at a very high altitude. So warm, cold all the time as you traverse through America. And we had actually exactly one of these gilets, and we also had that long premium jersey, long sleeve premium jersey, which is amazing, jersey to have.
Okay, this is a winter jacket. I'm going to zip it down slightly, then you can see.
So this will be for your colder mornings.
It's brushed on the inside, which means it isolates very well, keeps you warm.
So I mean, when you warm up in the mornings, you'd like to preserve some energy, so you keep yourself warm until you get to the batch. You have someone there waiting for you maybe, and you can just take that jersey off before you start.
How long before the start would you typically take something like that off?
I normally keep it on until 3-4 minutes before start.
Okay.
Just to keep the heat in.
Yeah, I think
You
people.
don't want to, especially on cold mornings, you don't want to start cold.
And cold is also, you lose energy.
Exactly.
Your body trying to warm itself up the whole time burns a lot of energy, which you're going to use later on in the stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to try and preserve that energy. So that's what's nice about that jersey. And
A jacket. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, jacket. Yeah. So
And then two other items that we've got on our ultimate package is aero socks. A bit more famous amongst the roadies because of the aero advantage. Mountain bikers are starting here and there to use it. I think the guys use it to keep up with Matt Pierce. I don't know how effective that is. Anyway, an aero sock, basically the difference between an aero sock and a normal sock is the aero sock, the top end is made out of a material that acts like a bit of a diffuser, lessening the drag. It's got a gripper to keep it up so that it doesn't go down. Just maybe a bit of a heads up if you're somebody that enjoys putting oil on your legs or cream beforehand. If the silicone inside gets cream on it, it doesn't stick that well. Otherwise it sticks really well and it keeps in place. Nice item to have. On that same issue as a sock, this is an arm warmer. Once again, it's an option. So what saves you out there is the options.
Yes.
When it's really cold, this is something you can carry. You see it can fold up really small. Put it in your back pocket.
It's very comfortable.
If it gets really cold out there, you can take it off or start the ride with it in the morning when it's cold. Take it off later, put it in your back pocket. So arm warmers also
Yeah,
very
you can
handy.
even use that with your gilet as well.
Yeah.
If it's a cooler morning. So and it's then two items which you can easily put in either your pouch or in your jersey, one of your pockets.
Okay, then before we go on to maybe the more casual stuff, I want to do the bibs quickly. So in our Epic Bundle, we're going to have two types of bibs. The one being what we refer to as our Pro Tour bib, and the other one we refer to as our long distance bib. So those names are specifically for the custom side of it. If you buy private label, they've got a slightly different name. But the Pro Tour bib is what we call a tourmalet on our private label. So our bibs are all manufactured with imported Italian materials. What I love about the Pro Tour bib is the fact that it's got an integrated gripper, so it's not stitched on. It's really, really smooth, and this is probably one of our best sellers. It's just a very, very comfortable bib. It sits very snug. It keeps the pad in place. I presume most Epic riders are very familiar with the concept of a bib. Why do we wear bibs? Well, it just keeps the whole thing in place. What you don't want is the pad moving around while you're sitting there on it for 5 to 6 hours some days. And then the padding inside, I just want to quickly show you. So we've partnered up with Elastic Interface to supply us with padding. They come from Switzerland, and we usually just write to them, an email and saying, guys, we've got Epic coming up, what's your suggestion? And they would send us a suggestion. So on our tourmalet, this is one of Elastic Interface's pads. Then on our long distance, slightly different pad. I just want to put them together. Maybe Philip can just hold that one.
Sure. This one is.
It's got a lot thicker pad. So if you want a bit more cushioning, the long distance bib would be your option. This is the long distance over here. And then the other nice thing about the long distance, it comes with the cargo option. So if you're somebody that wears or uses a lot of nutrition or needs extra storage on gels, the cargo option's handy. Yeah.
Oh, this is super nice.
And then the pad on the long distance, like I said, you can feel this, Philip. It gives you a bit more pushback. It's going to keep you a little bit more comfortable. But that said, my personal experience is when you go to the Epic, by then you should be quite hard. If padding is an issue,
then there might be issues.
There might be some other issues.
There's some other issues.
There's nothing that makes up for hours in the saddle. And as you mature with your hours in the saddle, you do tend to get slightly harder, and the sitting down doesn't hurt as much. But the extreme nature of the Epic does still cause a lot of saddle sores.
Yeah, I think what you would like to try and avoid is chafing, and like Reinhard has said, that this bib doesn't move around
within the pants itself.
Within the pants itself, which helps a lot.
Yeah, you want all the movement between the saddle and the outside. You don't want any movement inside the bib where the padding is. Yeah.
So that's what you would like to achieve.
My
Especially
experience
for long days, for 6-hour days or 5-hour days over 8 days.
My experience on the epic and longer days as well is, and this is just some personal advice, is that something like a saddle sore is actually created by not standing up enough. People tend to sit down for too long periods and it actually stops the blood flow, and then you get a saddle sore. A saddle sore is similar to a bed sore when people lie down too long. It's a lack of blood flow. So to try to prevent that, it's not necessarily going to be a better pad, but just the style of riding, which means you got to get out of the saddle every now and then. If you're hitting uphill and the soil or the gradient allows it, get out of the saddle, push a bit out of the saddle, go sit down, the blood flow returns, and that'll also help. Yeah. So yeah, Philip, I wanted to thank you. I don't know if there's anything you want to add on that.
I think just from personal experience using the VanH, especially the premium jersey, what do you call the long jersey? Premium.
Yeah, long sleeve.
Long sleeve.
Yeah.
Those two options are really nice for me. I really like them. But if you look at the quality of all the VanH products here, I can truly say that VanH has come a very long way, and it's you can see the meticulousness in the product. And
Thanks very much.
Yeah, I really think it's becoming a really one of the leading edge products out there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and from my side, maybe the one item that I'd say is an absolute must is the gilet, especially the all-weather gilet.
Yeah.
People misunderstand the gilet in the sense that if it rains, they think they need to keep dry. It's not a case of being dry; it's a case of being warm.
Yes.
Once it starts raining, the temperatures drop. You've got the
You're
cool down
really
factor of riding.
You're really wet from inside. Because
Yes,
you're sweating, right?
exactly,
So you don't want,
exactly.
You want to try and still have a bit of breathability happening, but you want to stay warm.
Yeah, and the gilet really gives you that option. So yeah, from my side, that's almost a no-brainer to have with you. So anyway, guys, we're gonna add some links to this on the products. You can go down and check out the links. You'll also see the packages that are available. You can cherry pick a little bit from the one package to the other package. We try to keep the prices below what a normal retail price is, and then it's got the option of a customized garment as well, which means if you've got sponsors, we can give them exposure, and then that will hopefully enhance your whole epic experience.
Yeah.
So
Cycle safe.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it. I hope you heal up fast.
Hopefully I can do the next year's epic.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right.
Bye bye. Dankie.
Lekker.